What's up, everyone? Welcome to Beyond the Pit, where there's Star Wars and then there's everything else, and this is the Everything Else series. This week, I have brought in Scott Solo and Grad Almo Franz with us from the Sarlacc Digest, and because we want to talk about Masters of the Universe, Netflix Revelations, and because it just dropped, so this is a little precursor. It is going to be spoilery talk. We're not going to hold back. As you guys know, everybody knows, Netflix, directed by Kevin Smith, this is his project. Turns out he's been working on this thing for 7 years. You know, goes back as a project of his to bring to fruition what we got.
Wow.
And this is, I think, the first half.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At least the first half.
First 5 of 10 episodes that are planned.
Yeah. Before we get into like what we just saw, everything that I've been hearing about with Kevin Smith's response is like, wait till you see the second half. Like, wait until you see what we've done moving forward. Do you think this was if you think it was shocking?
Scott just gave a look like this, and I'm thinking like, yeah, it's Kevin Smith. Of course he's going to say, wait till you see it. He cried during all the sequels.
Yeah,
it's what he is.
Kevin Smith is an easy mark, right?
He is. I can make Kevin Smith cry in about 4 minutes.
Yeah. He's an easy mark. He takes nostalgia to the levels beyond us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we're passionate about our how we grew up and all the IPs that all that stuff. But Kevin Smith is like, he takes it emotion. He puts that emotional spin, and
well, so do we. But the thing is, he has the power to.
Has the power.
He does to affect things. In his nostalgia, he can play in his nostalgia, where we just have to sit there and watch it or get to.
Yeah, and you know what? Kevin Smith is on borrowed time, so I'm happy for him.
You're killing him off?
No, because
I'm like, where's this story going?
He's almost died once. I mean,
yeah, because of his heart attack. He was supposed to be dead.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
He's hit on his second chance, you mean? Then.
Correct.
Yeah. So not looking apart. Marco's taking a hit out on Kevin Smith.
So, what the hell? I'm like, whoa, what do we not know? What's he got?
I want to say this, though. Like, my reaction to watching this, and again, you guys know me. We all grew up with He-Man, right? We all grew up with Masters of the Universe and everything. And of course, I'm not an uber fan. I don't know every dialogue on it. I don't know every episode and all that stuff, but I enjoy Masters of the Universe. I bought all the origin. I have Castle Grayskull sitting over there. I've got Battle Cat right here. I got Skelegod right here. I'm in it. I've been in it. Like, this is something that I really liked to be involved in, just like G.I. Joe, Star Wars, all that other stuff. My initial reaction watching this was like, to me, not going with the social aspects of it or whatever the talk or the negative or positive was, watching the 5 episodes, and I binged it, just like probably you guys did too. Mm-hmm. It felt right to me. In my head, it felt right. It felt like at times it was a Saturday morning cartoon, and then it also felt at times this was brought up to the adult fandom. Like it wasn't tongue in cheek anymore at times. Yes, it got jokey, but that was the Saturday morning parts of it.
And you had to have that or it wouldn't have felt right. You had to have some of that.
This was a mature Masters of the Universe, believe it or not, because if anybody has watched the cartoons or remembers it, it was awful.
It's terrible.
So a lot of the times people talk about this stuff, and it's like, dude, you're holding on to something that wasn't good, so you're just bitching to bitch.
It was the toys that were good. That's what we cared about. I can't remember the episodes. I can hardly remember any of the episodes. The thing was, 100%. They were so it was a toy line turned into a show. You were so 100%. Focused on making the story with your figures. I'll tell you this little bit of how much I don't know. I was shocked when I watched it again, and Mossman's good. Yeah. Well, you know what? In my head, I had Mossman as a villain, probably when I was a kid too, because
he kind of looked like a monster. Yeah.
Right. Why would I? So obviously, as a kid, I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together. He's only in a couple episodes anyway, right? Like 2 or 3 episodes total. Correct. So it's not like it.
And came later. Yeah.
So, but I was like, oh shoot, Mossman's on his side. Damn.
Right. And that's perfectly fine. Honestly, this is something that brings He-Man and Masters of the Universe all back in a big circle. And it's fine that, like, I don't know all of the lore behind every single character, Scareglow. I know Scareglow, but there's a couple of them I don't know that weren't even in the series, that were just toys. Stinkor is a perfect example. Was never in an episode. Yeah, but he was a toy.
So my personally, when He-Man came out, I was not a fan. I did not watch He-Man. I thought the cartoon was ridiculous. I thought that it kind of looked like Conan the Barbarian. He had a green cat that talked, and okay, but it just didn't interest me.
Right.
I love Transformers. I love G.I. Joe. That was my thing. Which I mean, still, if you look back at those episodes, they're kind of terrible too. But they weren't as tongue in cheek. They weren't as silly, exactly, as as He-Man. Now, my fandom with He-Man and Masters of the Universe became with the 2000X series, the series that started at the beginning. I think it was like 2003 or so.
Yeah,
that's a really good kind of modernized adult version of He-Man. I mean, not this adult where there's death and murder and cussing and blood and gore and all that, but that's where my fandom went. So whenever I went into this without any preconceived notions of what it could be. And and it paid off that way. I looked at it and I'm like, what I knew about He-Man was there was He-Man and there was Teela. Teela was usually his, for lack of better terms, his right-hand person, his right-hand man was Teela. So, to me, it kind of made sense where the story went and how it got there. And so
this series, how did you guys react to it? Like overall, after watching the 5, like did you?
Probably not as high. I know what you said. I'm probably not as high as some people are on it. I think it's a really good start. I saw
good
it.
Start. Good
I
start.
didn't realize it was a half. I saw it as like a mini series in front of a bigger series.
Gotcha.
Right, that was going to kick off. It's only a half of it. I'm a little disappointed in that. I was hoping it was maybe a third of it.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, it set it up. It got us all up to speed. It caught us up on characters we needed to know. You didn't know his main people, right? And Skeletor's main people. You needed to know what was going on. Is it an issue that He-Man bites it pretty good? You know what I mean? And we don't deal with them. That's probably the big mark.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it because you get He-Man flashbacks, things like that.
Right.
It means more. The overall story means more because your hero, I mean, it set it up in the trailer that magic was gone. He-Man was gone. And this is what's left.
This is a sequel.
Good thing is they brought him back to get the magic back.
Yeah.
And that didn't last.
This is a sequel. Revelations is a sequel. And I want to say it's a continuation of the 2000X series.
It feels like it in design and tone.
Yeah. So,
but
this is a direct sequel. So you have those events.
I thought this was a direct sequel to the originals.
I'm with Chris. That's exactly what I thought too.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to look it up right now, but again, it was like one of those whim things. I believe it was the 2000X.
It feels like it. It feels like it should be a sequel to those.
The intro, that intro was almost word for word from the original cartoons we grew up with. Yeah. Only 3 people know of my powers. This and that, and this and I thought, and if you pay attention to that, it was like that brought you up to speed.
Yep.
You have to be familiar with the Masters of the Universe concept, like Chris said. You have to be familiar with it for this series to kick off and for it to make sense. Because He-Man bites it in the first one. I mean, He-Man and Skeletor merge, and basically Skeletor did what he was supposed to do, and He-Man dies. I mean, he dies.
Gets blowed up.
Yeah. He-Man gets blown up, and then all of Eternia loses all its magic, and now it's in this. We do this this whole time travel, not time travel.
This is a time jump.
Time jump. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we get into where life. It reminds me of Superman Returns, right? Life without Superman, and all of a sudden he comes back, and it's all whatever.
And but in the setup from the opening, it tells you, Man-at-Arms knows, Orko knows, Cringer knows. They're the only 3 people,
and his mom,
but they don't mention her. She figures it out. And the whole bit is when he is dying, he reverts back to Adam, or they see that he is Adam.
Right.
And Teela sees that he is Adam, and she's like, "This is my best friend here. He kept the secret from me the whole time." And whenever you are, you got a best friend who you're also in a lot of adventures with, and
she didn't see it. She got told in the chamber.
Oh, did she get told?
Man-at-Arms was telling the king and queen.
That's right.
That we lost He-Man today, and then they didn't say shit. It was Mom. Mom said we lost Adam, we lost our son, and Randor was like, "What are you talking about?"
Randor's an idiot. Number one,
he lost his shit and sent out an idiot. Get rid of Man-at-Arms for what's his name? Not Gordon, Duncan.
And the whole thing was like, again, I just was like, I was taken back, man, while watching this, and like the setup to me was awesome, because again, it brought you up to speed for me as being a little bit familiar. It brought me up to speed. Tila being knighted as one of the Man-at-Arms, being awesome. a guardsman, whatever. It was just like, this is awesome. Of course, in the very beginning battle, you almost had every character that you can, and every shit. I mean, it had everything. It was awesome.
Skeletor it was guys. All the phase 1 type guys, right? Because there's a lot of people. We still haven't seen like Ram Man and things like that, right? There's a lot of people
Ram
left.
Man, yeah.
We saw a lot
of folks left.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people in, like, when they're all running to each. Yeah. You're right. It was like everybody was there present, and what I love about the He-Man series, or the is because it's like what Scott said. It wasn't a grounded cartoon. It was set in a fantasy, but like fantasy times 1,000. I mean, fantasy with tech, fantasy with magic. I mean, you had
there's a lot of confusing things.
There are doors to get to heaven and hell, into Subternia and Preternia.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, the whole world building behind it, and Chris mentioned this too, where they started as toys because He-Man was the answer, Mattel's answer to Star Wars. Bring it to 5-inch, and here's the boys' line of figures. And it was funny because I got this out of that making, the Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
They lied to to their presentation, saying, "Oh yeah, there's a comic book coming out too with this." Nobody knew of it, and they just went back, we got to do a comic book. You know what I mean? It was like, it was all made up on the spot, and they hit a mark. The toys sold first. Me as a kid, I was with you, Chris. I bought the toys for the toys. Yes, I watched the cartoons. Do I remember them? Hell no. I mean, I do remember some things, but storylines, no. With this whole thing, I hear backlash on this Revelations, right? And I don't know what okay, we'll get into the whole Tila being a major, like a main character moving through, but why are people upset that it's not true to the story? To the cartoons,
there is no stuff. Okay,
there was better than the cartoon.
There was no ongoing plot thread in any of the original.
No, they're all standalone. They're all standalone, and
each one to introduce a character.
Yeah, and
basically, a new
Revelations. Toy. This was good. This was a good representation of Masters of the Universe, in my opinion. It was. I when I said on chat, Masters of the Universe is a masterpiece. I was just doing a play on words,
Yeah,
Master words.
Gotcha. You're so clever.
So, but I
mean, you can chill right the F down. Like a masterpiece.
Yeah, I was playing on the words, and I waited to hear to tell you that, and I didn't want to.
Gotcha.
But I, from ear to ear, I was enjoying the whole 2 hours of this. I loved all the characters. I loved all the storylines. I love where they're going with this. I love the ending. I thought it was perfect because, you know what? I'm not anticipating anything. I'm not expecting anything. I just sat back and I watched this thing unfold. I'm like, this is so cool. It's got a good story, and there's a good and evil. There was real good and real evil on this.
Oh, and real
in the middle too.
Yeah, I was gonna say some good evil.
Yeah,
like Evil Lynn stole it, dude. Like, she's the character in that first 5 episodes to me. That was, and
it was genuine. It was genuine because Evil Lynn's story arc was. The little bit of magic in her orb was Eternia's magic, and it was entrusted to her by Sorceress. Here,
you trust me with this?
Even like the new character that she said, I forgot.
Arla.
Amara. I think it's Amara.
Yeah, that's the only character they changed from the original to now, only one. But anyway, she was you trusted someone with evil in their name of all the power, all the magic of Eternia. Because Evil Lynn had a sense of oh my God, what was it? She wasn't hell-bent like Skeletor of destroying at all. She had self-preservation. So given her, it made sense for her. She didn't know Skeletor's plot. That was genuine. When Skeletor came back at the end and revealed himself, he even told her that I didn't tell you what I was about to do with that little bit of magic. Like I embedded my soul into it.
This is where I get confused because I said, did you guys watch that link I sent you, the Kevin Smith talk?
Yeah.
Explain it. Didn't he make it seem like she was looking at him? And because then I watched it again, and sure as hell, man, she is staring at that thing the entire And I mean, obsessively over and over.
Right.
She's supposed to be, Skeletor's in there the whole time. Like she's looking at it for a reason.
I took it as she was looking at it just to see the withering bit of magic in there, but no, there was more to it.
Well, because she even said we're only like at 50% left. She kept she like, to me, I took it like she was monitoring the magic because she was using it sparingly.
Yeah.
Well,
once in a while she would say something about the plan or what she has to do, or not specific, but was something about the situation at the time. Well, and she would look at it while making a decision. Like, and you could now that I knew that and I watched an episode or two, right? I was like, you know what? She's kind of talking it through, looking at this like, do I go with these people? Do I stay with Skeletor and go with his thing? You know,
right.
But at the same time, she's very surprised at the end when Skeletor pops out.
Well,
that even changed me again.
Yeah, he even told her, "Look, I didn't include you in my plan. Now take your seat at my right hand side. You know, take your rightful place."
And then her face changed, animated. Like she went from. And then went boom right to evil. That was rad.
Her character arc was awesome.
It was.
Like I said, she had a self-preservation streak in her. She wanted Eternia back to normal. Like she wanted Eternia's magic back because she was the one who was explaining what Sorceress was saying. Like without Eternia and its magic, the entire universe will die. Therefore, we don't exist. Now, Skeletor had his plan to do what he did and get rid of He-Man and come back and basically, sit back in the wings. He did the Voldemort thing. He sat back in the wings and let this thing happen. And then at that last second, man,
gotcha.
Killed Prince Adam again. You know what I mean? Like, or stabbed him. Let's just say stabbed him.
Which the cool thing is, I hadn't thought about, and so because I've been so many things going through my head about the show, I forgot that he can't go back to Preternia.
Right.
He goes back as
he can't
one with nature. He doesn't go back in the So when He-Man died. He went to heaven, in their heaven, and he was with and because of services rendered, he was offered to pick a form and basically live in heaven.
Where are you getting this from?
So when Mossman was talking to Prince Adam at the end, he's told him, he goes, look, life after life, you become one with the nature. You become a piece of this planet. But the selected few that have done well in Eternia will come back as a form that you choose, and you can live amongst whatever. Now, when Prince Adam chose to go back to Eternia as a mortal, Mossman told him, if you die, that's it. You can't come back at this form. You have to come back and just be one with nature.
Grayskull told him he just can't come back.
Yeah. I took it as
you Adam. Leave here, brother. You're out. You can't.
That's exactly how I took it too.
You can't come back in here.
Well, I maybe have to go through it again
because he chose his form. I took it. See, I took it as he chose his form as Adam instead of He-Man, which threw everybody off because they're all big and frat boying in there because
he was be humble and he's like
yeah.
And
I thought that was rad that he did that too. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Cool character piece.
Because I want to explore this more. But I took at Mossman telling him like when people die, they become energy, and they basically are these plants, and basically him, he controls that, and then the ones that are running around are past masters of the universe, right? Past He-Mans, if you will. Mm-hmm. And there's
Hero
always that
and Grayskull, and
there's always that mantle. Now that mantle is important too, because if we go back to what this show was setting up in its first half, right? Now obviously. He-Man's in the dead center of that poster, and he's not done. But they're toting Teela as the next one to take up the power.
That's now when I look at it, people are going to lose their.
But here's the thing: I not one time did I say what Chris said. Like what you kind of said. Look, I see it. What they're doing. I didn't see it because I saw the story as it's unfolding. Nobody else that's living on that planet besides Teela could do this unless it's a brand new character. Man-at-Arms is not that person.
Completely agree because she was the right-hand person for He-Man.
I agree.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's the daughter of the sorceress. She's
right.
Well, that's how. So I'm totally okay with it. Here's the thing though, it's not He-Man in a silo. It's everything. So it gets seen. Right. This is why I was telling on Sarlacc that that's why I hate social media now. Right. Number one, I've seen more people complaining about people complaining than actual people complaining. Right? Period. Yeah. I've seen nothing but bitching about people complaining, and I really haven't seen anything.
Right.
But it's the female lead stuff. It's not a big deal because it's Teela. It's not a big deal because it's Evil Lynn, because Evil Lynn needs to be there. I asked you, Scott, about Snake Eyes, right?
Yeah.
There's one Joe and one Cobra.
Yep.
Baroness makes sense. And actually, and so does Scarlet. But there it is again. Right? Star Wars, what do we have? We have got Jyn on one, Rey on the other. Marvel, every single character has changed genders except Captain America. And except Black Widow. Everybody else is changing genders. It's not happening in a silo. It's happening to all of them at once. So that's what people see. That's why we see it. That's why I see it. I don't disagree with it, but it's happening so much you have to see it. And they want you to see it. The people want you to see it because they want to be like me too. What I told you in chat, and this is what I want the listeners to hear is, it's okay if you bring your wife flowers. But if your wife says, you know, I haven't got flowers in a while, and you bring it the next day, is that really genuine? No, it's not. Everybody right now, every IP is bringing their wife flowers after she said she wanted them. That's
you're right.
Happening.
100% right. And I see that. But I just didn't see it, and I'm not blind to it. I just didn't see it in this series.
Because it fit, because we get the characters. I didn't see it when I first told you guys, or when I talked to you about it, until I looked at the internet and I said, okay, I got some things to talk about because I see it. I see it, but I didn't think it was going to be an issue. I was hoping it wouldn't be an issue. It was an issue.
Yeah, and you know, unless unless they did this, He-Man was killed. She got the power. Now she's basically She-Ra, right? Like she's and it moved on forward. Then I was like, wow, you just really did a 180 there as far as like the story, and you just and again, you brought flowers when you were supposed to be doing it the whole time, and now you're forced to. And I get that analogy. I really do. Because you're right. Nobody writes stories anymore for the sake of a good story. They do it because, like I said, a check mark. Oh, I got this. I got this. I got that, and it becomes disingenuous after that. This, like I said, this series so far has, the short time that it was on, it lived up to, it brought me back to a real good feeling. Like they snuck in life lessons in there. Even Tila did it, like snuck in these little, well, if you do this, whatever. And I was like, wow, because, and I've talked, and speaking of Snake Eyes and stuff, we were talking off air and stuff like that. And a long time ago, I said, you have stuff like He-Man, you have Transformers, you have G.I. Joe, you got Mask, you got all these like cool cartoons, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You got cool cartoons. Should they ever be brought to live action? He-Man, to me personally, is a perfect example. No matter how you bring it to live action, it's going to suck. Yeah. Unless you do it a very bloody Conan the Barbarian way, and you do it like very, realistic ritual stuff. Like Conan's probably the closest thing you're going to get to a live action He-Man. That's not going to be goofy, because look at the cartoon, dude. The goofy characters, and they're so cool, and it works as a cartoon. Mm-hmm. And that's why I appreciate, and that's why I was happy that this was a cartoon. Yeah. On Netflix, and it was edgy. It had some real powerful moments in there.
Orko, look at what they did with Orko.
Oh, you're right.
Holy crap,
Orko was great.
Who would have thought?
Is he dead?
That's the one thing Kevin's going to say. So look, nobody ever really lives or ever dies here, except Orko. I killed Orko. Wow, that's what he said. But
you know what, Chris? After watching, I'm okay with it because it was heartfelt.
Yeah.
Orko's one of my favorites.
It served a purpose.
Correct.
It made sense, and it served a purpose.
He grew as a character.
Yeah. I think the whole thing with Tila, too, it makes sense, and it serves a purpose. The purpose is to bring magic back to this universe. She's the only one that can do it. And, I mean, I know you guys don't look at IMDb scores or whatnot, but just look at the shit that's being said on IMDb by these Neanderthals that are giving it one rating, 1-star rating.
Like seriously, how? If you can't look beyond your own nose, you can't see anything good in this world.
I see what's going on, and I still like it. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, they're doing it again, but it doesn't take away from the story. I still see
you still enjoy A to B there. I mean, like
all I ever say is give me the good story, and I'm cool, right? Just make it make sense, make it cool. I'll deal with the rest. I deal with the rest. There's nothing really to deal with in Master of the Universe, but right to the point, I can see where they're going. I just think they're idiots for going where they go instead of just saying it and calling it like it is. Right? It's like they're checking boxes. Move on. We're gonna, but this one not so much. But
yeah, dude, like,
although the friend was kind of weird. Now here's where I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go.
Andra, are you talking Andra?
Yeah, Andra. If they become a couple, then it's gonna be like, oh,
there's the check mark, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the problem's gonna.
But at the same time, it also feels like Tila could go with the He-Man way at any minute. She could go both ways. There's a LGB. It could get there. It's totally and again.
Not a problem if you didn't ask for flowers yesterday.
That's the problem. That's the problem with it. We as a whole, I know you guys know me. We have no problem with this stuff. We have no problem with social issues in real life. You know, do unto others attitude. That's how we live our life. Even if it's in our cartoons, if it's in our movies and stuff. But when it becomes a check mark, I think it's disingenuous. It's not real. You're not doing it because you're doing it to say, hey, look at me, I did this. And I think that's insulting.
Yeah. And I don't think He-Man did that. I don't think they did that. I think it all makes sense.
They had 5 episodes to do that, and they didn't.
I don't know about the spare character yet, right? I don't know about the extra character, but nobody else did. And it was fine. But that they're going there because, again, when you're looking for a car, when I'm buying a car and I'm looking for a Civic, what do I see? I see a bunch of Civics. Right. Oh, well, you're going to see a bunch of Civics regardless, but you know what I mean? Right? Yeah. It's all you see is that color. Or once you see it, if you're looking for a yellow car, you're going to see a yellow car.
Right.
And that's it. And it just happens because we see it so much. And it's the conversation online. That's why I don't go online.
You're right. You know, and it's just like one of those things. Like I watched this and I was just like so enthralled in what I was watching. I was so in like everything was. It's not perfect, but it felt good to me. It felt good, and I forgot everything about like social media and everything. I really didn't. I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I was like, I don't know what.
Oh, I didn't see that. It wasn't good on the scores.
The critics are a 98, and the fans like a 30. It's like, what do you guys want?
That's
people. Fans? There's a call going on right now on social media, and the call is to bomb it. On IMDb, on Rotten Tomatoes,
you know, like
because like I'm looking,
they
at
don't
it
like
right
Tila.
Yeah. That's the wrong direction, guys. The story direction is really bad, and the focus is 90% on girl power, and it's a big turnoff.
First off,
I didn't see it like that at all. She was just eternity. I
am reading one of the reviews to you.
No, I think you said it. I think you said it, Scott.
No, we get it. I'm saying I don't not share the view of it. I saw it through that piece, right? I can see it, but it's not the opinion. The opinion is retarded. Sorry, I don't mean to say that. That's a rude word, but you know what I mean? It's just like, come on, dude. That's not what happened. They didn't never once they say, oh, because I'm a girl, I can do this, and let us. Heck, she's more dude than half of them. She'll whoop their ass. It's
first off,
at all.
He-Man is very diverse.
She trained Adam. She's the head of the training thing. She was already next in line. She trained Adam.
Exactly. This is the same people, right? That don't know that Tila was Duncan's daughter. They didn't know that Skeletor's sword is half of He-Man's sword to combine to get the power of his sword. They didn't know
that Man at Arms banged the sorceress to make Tila. That's
they don't know this stuff, but they're worrying for something that's not existent.
Yeah.
In He-Man, in the Masters of the Universe, if they really want to go back source material, if they really want to go back, you had empowerment left and right. You had a spinoff called She-Ra. She-Ra was the epitome of women empowerment back in the 80s. And
it was also 10 times better written than He-Man was.
Yes.
It actually had an ongoing story plot and story thread. Yeah.
Now here's where I get on the argument where the side that's saying, okay, they're like, oh, He-Man was never a boy's toy. Shut up. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It absolutely 100% was.
100 million percent was.
They were. I saw that on the internet saying that's not true. That's not true. This is all just a very. It was always unisex. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was just for us.
Mattel had no boys line.
They had a mandate. They had a mandate to come up with a boys line to rival Barbie, because Barbie and Hot Wheels were their bread and butter.
Right.
They wanted a boys line action figure
to compete with Star Wars and G.I. Joe.
Right. Makes sense.
100%.
And it did. So I just say, let's just all get the facts straight when we argue, because saying dumb stuff doesn't help the argument.
Again, there's that social justice.
Different time frame.
Yelling. And there's the opposite side saying yelling at everything that's on screen. Now, because like I said, when I saw as Tila being like, it kind of turned into her story, but it's also the overarching thing. Her goal is to bring He-Man back, or she's living her thing, and it was the quest that came upon her.
It's the swords, not He-Man back. Her quest is to bring the swords together
and bring Eternia back to magic. You know, it made sense to me, and just because, and now it's going to get to the point where it's like any female that's on screen is going to be like, look, they're doing it. That's wrong.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. That's my problem with the time we're in, and that's the thing. We're going to just see it, and it's not even there because He-Man is not that, but we see it. I can see it what's going to happen. That's why I asked Scott about G.I. Joe. I know Scarlett's going to, she has a thing for Snake Eyes eventually. I know Baroness is the main part. We all want to see Baroness every movie. It's, that's supposed to be there, but you're going to see it because we've gone through this process with Star Wars and Marvel lately and on the internet where we have to see it always.
Now
it's the arguments more than it happening. It's the fighting online that causes it.
I feel more like it's people are looking for it now. I mean,
they are looking for it.
I wasn't looking, bro. I just saw it. I didn't know anything coming in.
No, I'm talking about the trolls. They're looking for things to be pissed off about.
Yeah.
And the minute I'm sorry, but in He-Man, there were 3 main characters in the original cartoon. That I know for a fact. There was He-Man, there was Man-at-Arms, and there was Teela. Those were the three main characters that were in every episode. Okay,
and Skeletor, Beastman, and Evil Lyn.
That's it. Yeah.
You take out He-Man, you're left with Man-at-Arms, you're left with Teela. All right.
Who else is going to take up this challenge?
You got an old man and a woman that is the head of the Royal Guard. I mean, who else is going to take up the challenge? Of course it's going to go this way. Watch the damn trailer and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on IMDb and bitch about it.
And that's when the problem
stupid
I have is when you have to go somewhere just to tear it down. Everybody already knows. We don't need to go on there and do a bunch of stuff and keep ranting off and commenting.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. We do a podcast. We do it. Right. But just to keep going in different places and keep complaining and trying to ruin things for everybody else. If somebody likes it, just let them like it and stop bashing it. It's getting tired.
Yeah, it's the argument to get a rise out of somebody else. Even they might not even believe it what they're saying. It's just like, look at this guy's reaction. Now, I'm going to give Kevin Smith a lot of credit here because again, I thought this was a really, really good start. It was gutsy. It was progressive. You killed off the main dude in the first, half of the first episode.
Yep. And then, the end of the last episode.
And and then you killed him again.
Double down.
Then you had Skeletor achieve his ultimate goal within the first half of this thing. And it's something that he's never done in the past. So
that was pretty neat. First time in history with I have the power from Skeletor.
And he got Skelegod right there, okay. So that's where it left off, and I was just like, again, I was like, this is cool because this is how we're not getting Saturday morning cartoons anymore. We're not getting what was it called, Filmation? Filmation. We're not getting those anymore. So now we got Netflix. Like Netflix to me is doing these things. They're taking IPs like Castlevania. I don't know if you guys watched Castlevania.
I couldn't
or
make
even
it
familiar with. Oh man, I loved it. I
got bored out of my mind watching that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
didn't even drive.
It might be an acquired taste, but I loved what they did with it. And I also loved what they did with the Transformers, the War for Cybertron. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was darker, more depressing, and had this overall, emotional feel. That's what I think what Masters of the Universe is doing. And it also didn't fail at the humor. It dummied down the humor, which is in a good way because He-Man's humor before was so corny.
And Cringer and Orko manageable.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Cringer's delivering life lessons.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Who knew?
Do you know who named me Cringer? I'm like, oh, you could.
Stop it, Kevin Smith.
And Battle Cat didn't talk. And I was like, yes, because that's, and Orko was awesome. Like you felt for him. Yeah. And he was a mess up. It's just like it was.
That's why the death was cool. It's the one time something.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they were going in some really dark ways with him too. I mean, he was talking about not having his memories anymore. He was starting to lose his mind. And I'm like, oh my God.
He was the last of his people. It was awesome.
The Trollians. Really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I really dug it. I thought there was the first time where I watched something modern that it took me back and like, man, there were certain elements that made me feel like a kid again. Yeah. But then also was like, this is so cool to be seeing this at this Masters of the Universe on this level.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit more mature, a little bit less jokey and light. I mean, again, I challenge these people who have negative comments to go back because I just don't believe that they really understood.
They will never admit fault.
Yeah, because I never seen anybody coming to the rescue before anything was like He-Man's the greatest story ever told. You know what I mean? I never heard that.
Yeah.
And to them to be like, you're messing up the story, it shouldn't go this way. I'm like, I do think
there's a He-Man fan base. We just don't follow it. right?
It's all
like
toys. It's all toys.
Yeah,
dude.
but they don't follow Star Wars like we do, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a little different. There's a lot of
He-Man or Masters of the. I'm gonna say Masters of the Universe because it's always been called Masters of the Universe. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The only reason why is because we're watching He-Man's reign when it comes to the story.
Well, what did it say every time there was a commercial break?
He-Man and
every time it changed scenes, He-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
In your head the whole time.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, I'm like, we're watching He-Man's story unfold. But the overall timeline, there's been many Masters of the Universe. Now we have Skelegod, who is a Masters of the Universe. We saw when he went to the, not Subternia, where Mossman. Preternia. Thank you. Preternia, where the other heroes or the other masters and other people that were living before He-Man. And he even said there would be Masters of the Universe before you, and there would be after you. And why can't Tila become one of them? Like seriously, like really, it just makes sense story progression wise. If you take the modern times we live in and throw that out, this is a really, really good throwback. It's a really good show. The animation is superb.
I gotta say, I loved Preternia. I love the design for it because it was based off of an old Eternia playset. It was actually a toy that is incredibly hard to get, incredibly expensive, but that whole design with the track and with the turret for Castle Grayskull and the cat, the like lion shaped main building and all that was all part of this toy, and it was such a great design to actually see it.
Yeah. I applaud Kevin Smith's vision on this because everybody jokes around with he gets easy mark. He's a very emotional person, and I've read his script for Superman Returns, and you know what I mean. So, but I think he did this one justice so far. Like I really do.
I won't go off the end yet until I see the whole thing.
Yeah,
but I think it's really, I think it's really good.
It's a great start.
The way they set it up to be like, we're going to see the reign of Skeletor. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. I can't believe that I was mad when Evil Lynn was helping, and then I was mad when she turned back. So I like where it's going. I want to see.
You got emotionally invested in her and stuff, and it was good, man. And
I liked Lena Headey whenever Kevin Smith interviewed her and was asking about, did you jump at the chance to take on Evil Lynn? And she goes, absolutely. I am of this age. I watched He-Man every day or every Saturday, and I'm like, holy crap, Lena Headey was a He-Man fan. That's awesome. And to finally get to play this character and play it so well. Just unreal.
And I love the fact that Triclops had this third faction,
weird,
non-magic techno union kind of stuff, right? I mean, that was so cool, though.
It was, and being voiced by Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins voiced him too.
Yeah. Dude, doing that the religious preacher thing about the motherboard.
Motherboard.
Yeah. What a perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
Right? And a spoken word, getting everybody riled up. It was
I'm telling you, dude, like not just like people are, what these people have to realize when they're watching this is what's going on here. Like, Triclops is doing a power vacuum thing, and he's taking Skeletor's plot and he's trying to get rid of all the magic in Eternia because he's against it, and you have like Skeletor and his subplot, Evil Lynn going good because she wants to, and then like killing off He-Man at the beginning, He-Man having a moral choice to come back as a mortal and can never return again because he wants to help his friends. There's your life lessons. These are the things that it's all there. And like I said, I can't, like, not this time. It's like one of those things. I see it in some other shows, but not this one. I don't see it in this one. I had fun with it. And again, it's not perfect, but it's good, and like I said, I want to see where it's going. And I'm in it, man. I'm in it. I'm buying. Of course, I bought the toys before I even saw one pixel on screen. I have all the origins. Yeah, exactly. I have all the origins. I've got Castle Grayskull sitting over there. I'm going to build this huge diorama with light. I mean, it's going to be awesome. He-Man is ingrained in our culture anyway. So it's like, it makes sense that this was it was inevitably going to happen. But again, I appreciate not being live action and doing cartoon form.
I do too. I don't think they should even try it.
Nope. Don't even attempt it, man. Don't even attempt it. Again,
it felt like a natural progression of all the characters. Of course, this is what would happen if that happened.
Yes,
of course,
man. how gutsy that is, right?
How else would it have gone? What would you have done? Oh, I would have just had He-Man going around doing the same old thing,
doing the same. And that's what people wanted with Star Wars, right? The same old stuff. I want Luke to come in and destroy and then go back. Luke coming in. Well, how about some story progression? How about some thought in your
character development?
Character development is key. And
which they did do.
And I thought Masters of the Universe and Kevin Smith and everybody
again,
involved was
counting them off: Orko, and Evelyn, and Tila, and Duncan all had fantastic.
I loved it, man.
Yeah,
I loved it, and again, I can't wait to the second half of this. I think that it was sad to see Kevin Smith's Twitter post saying because I guess they're doing a Clerks 3 read through, and he said something about Masters of the Universe. Hashtag goes says I shouldn't be upset or something like I shouldn't have to be going through the negativity on this. Why am I paying attention to that? It should be a good day because I thought he did a good job. And
it kind of sucks that you feel that video that he did was just chill people out. Right. And that's why he said people aren't really dead when He-Man died. That was done that video was from today. It was 2 hours before I said it to you guys.
Yeah.
So you don't usually see a director doing that. Kevin Smith cares about everything. He cares as dumb as it sounds, he probably cares about what his fans think more than anybody
absolutely
else,
he does.
right?
Absolutely.
More than everybody else. Because he is an emotional dude and he wants to make everybody happy. He's trying to just make everybody happy.
He's also used to that one-on-one with the fans. I mean, he is a regular at Comic-Con. I've met the man several times. I mean,
I know he is.
He talks to his fans.
Yeah.
So
it's all
makes sense.
There's a lot of BS in this world, and a lot of people raise flags when they weren't raising flags yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys didn't really care about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and now you have an opportunity to see something on screen and then attack it, but you don't even know what you're attacking. You don't know the story. You don't buy the figures. You're not into it. You don't talk about He-Man in your daily like we do, right? Not daily, but it comes up a lot. But these guys that are doing this are not doing it for legitimate reasons. They're just doing it just because they're seeing something. Like you said, the society's gotten, and I blame both sides on this. We've gotten to the point where now, if you see anything different, it's because of social justice.
If it's not, either way, if it's not on your side of the fence, they didn't do enough of it, or they did too much of it.
It's too much now, and I want everybody to take a pill, relax, and enjoy this because you know what? This is good. It's good stuff. And Kevin Smith, when you watch this, man, we appreciate it, and I think you did a really good job at this. I can't wait for a second half. I'm in it. You're doing such a good job as far as Mattel and having Mattel handing out Battle Cats everywhere that they seem to kids, getting them involved.
Yeah,
I've seen that too. I love it. I think I'm in it. This is good. Yeah, man, this was good. I couldn't wait to talk to you guys about it. I was holding off on chat. I was like, there's so much I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But
still is. We still have time because there's going to be tons of characters coming. Well, second half we'll have to knock it out because he did say in that video. He said we're going to see basically every figure that's ever been released. Right?
That's awesome, dude.
That's how I interpreted that as well.
Yeah.
So
Grizzlor, Mosquitor. He can go on and on and on. And where's Panther? He's got to come around.
Yeah,
right?
He's got to come around.
Yeah, he's in the poster. So that poster is a brilliant poster.
By the way, I love when Mossman fried.
Yeah.
Skeletor says smells like pine.
Yeah.
Because he did.
The last
figure was scented like pine.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
The wit was good. Like I said, the comedic wit was awesome.
I think Jason Mewes as Stinkor was awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great choice.
The only thing, Merman didn't have the gargle in his voice, but who cares? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, he didn't.
But Mark Hamill sounded like Mark Hamill.
Yes.
You never know it's not Mark Hamill. It's
correct.
Always, it's him. But he's perfect for Skeletor. Really is perfect.
Yeah.
Scareglow.
Really great.
Scareglow was amazing. His whole thing, you can have whatever you want, but I want to see fear.
The way the bones would glow
come and go.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's a lot in this. I'm actually gonna watch it again because
me too.
They're short, they're sweet. It gets right into it. I'm digging it.
Yeah,
you can watch those 5 in less than a movie.
Yeah,
right. It's basically a movie.
Yeah,
and Kevin Conroy was Merman.
Yes,
Kevin Conroy, Batman from Batman the animated series was Merman. Come on now. Come on.
Great cast.
Great cast. Killer cast. Killer animation. The music was awesome.
His daughter's Tila, right?
No, it's not his daughter.
Who's his daughter?
No, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
You're right.
No,
who's his daughter play?
His daughter doesn't play anyone. No, it's a different.
No, the friend is
a different Smith. Tiffany Smith is not his daughter. His daughter is Harley Quinn Smith.
Right. She's in the cast.
I
know who Harley Quinn Smith is.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her as anybody yet.
I have to look at the credits.
Yeah,
I want to go back and check the credits. But
Andra was Tiffany Smith.
Yeah,
who is
Awesome.
So, anyway,
I'm going to label this as part 1, of course, because we're going to revisit this again. This was a pre-planned talk. It wasn't a spin the wheel.
Yep.
So I think we're done for this one. It wasn't a short one, but we did good. We're hitting all of this up. So everybody, thank you very much for coming. You guys, thank you for joining me.
Real
tonight.
Quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Harley Quinn Smith will play Elena in the episode 6 whenever it debuts.
So she wasn't Elena in
the
beginning?
It didn't say.
Oh, how weird.
And we don't know when the second half is coming, right? They said November. Was it November?
I didn't see anything.
I have to keep an eye out for that. I hope it's soon because I'm like, this is too cool.
Oh, he didn't even know because in the video he said whenever they let us release it.
Yeah.
Who is Elena anyway?
I couldn't. At first I thought it was the Queen, but it's not Queen.
That's Marlena, and that was Alicia Silverstone.
Oh yeah, what a cast!
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who.
I'll be looking a lot of this up. So.
But again, I hope she's not a new character they created because then you go again. Then you've created 2 characters, and then we're go through this whole thing again.
Andrew wasn't created though. Andrew was in a comic book. They just changed her ethnicity.
Correct. She was in 1 episode.
One issue.
No, I get it.
Okay,
but we can't do that with He-Man though, because Moss Man was in 2, right?
Correct.
They're all like that. All the character Clawful, all of these guys are like 1-2 episodes apiece.
Yeah.
Except for Beastman, Evil Lynn, all the 3 you guys mentioned on each one.
Yeah.
Everybody else is the new toy.
You had the trope, the trope that was in everything, and then you had these other ones that were just made. A lot of them were made only for the toys, and a lot of you had like in the some debuted just in the comic book.
Yeah, they would just throw them in for a minute and boom, done.
Yeah, and that's the magic of He-Man, dude. The colors of it. The colors is what really drove me as a kid. The color of
agreed, agreed. I'm glad they don't change. That's why you can't do it live action. That's a great point.
Exactly.
I mean, you can get it colorful. We've seen things in Marvel where it's kind of Guardians is kind of colorful for it,
right.
But it's not colorful enough.
If they do live action, they have to basically mimic what Kevin Smith just did and just make it live action. I mean, really, over the top, unbelievably, just cartoony.
It'd be so expensive, dude.
Just make a cartoon. Just leave it a cartoon. Leave it.
Yeah. Elena was in 1 episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe as one of Tila's good friends. So there you go.
There you go.
Awesome, guys. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us for the Beyond the Pit. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris. Till next time when we spin the wheel. Yeah. The one down there.
Yeah, that guy. We keep him. We keep him in the dungeon.
There are others in the Sarlacc.
I'm just here to tell you what the conservative side says. Okay, that's the only reason I'm here.
We're a legit crossfire, so
with sense.
Right. With some actually civil talk.
Right.
It's amazing, guys. You can actually be friends and have differing opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
Because again, we all want the same thing.
Right.
It just sometimes it's a different path where we see it a little bit differently. That's all.
Man. Yeah, exactly. But we're nowhere near going online and trash and shit that stuff that we this is.
Yeah, we just go over it. Yeah,
I don't have an energy for it.
Good stuff. Check out Master of the Universe if you have a chance. Unless you're gonna bash it, or unless you think it's gonna be stupid because there's a girl in it.
Don't
watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a girl in it, they're gonna be like all up in arms. It's like
again, I get that we see it, but watch the movie first. Make your opinion, then complain about it. If it was only about that, it wasn't only about that.
Or if you want to complain about it, just go watch the original Masters of the Universe cartoon. Yeah. And then
come back. First episode.
Let us know how good that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let us know how Kevin Smith ruined your childhood then when you go watch Masters of the Universe.
It was basically the Blue Oyster and loincloths. With Masters of the Universe. It was, you complain then, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably more up your alley now than it was then.
Yeah, right? Exactly. All right, cool. We're out of here. There's Star Wars, and then there's everything else, and this is the Everything Else series. So with that,
keep it nerdy, everybody.